In this bulletin, 12 new COVID cases confirmed. Ministry tracks movement of McQuay family. And containment areas maintained. Yanrapinaka, Fiji. The Health Ministry has announced more 12 new cases of COVID-19 yesterday. The first case is a soldier working at the border quarantine facility, and he was the roommate of the soldier who was announced the first border quarantine case on Sunday, the 18th of April. Permanent Secretary for Health, Dr. James Fong, says 4 of the new cases are close contacts of the maid or hotel worker. The 4 tested negative when they entered quarantine. Dr. Fong says the next 7 new cases are all related and all close household contacts of the 29-year-old woman from McQuay, adding that this means Fiji does not have a new cluster or community transmission.
The infected woman's husband is a 30-year-old soldier who works in the border quarantine facility in Nandi, and he has tested positive. As per protocol, this particular soldier, or the husband of our McQuay lady, was tested for the virus on April 10th, just before being released to return home to Suva on April 12th.
The Ministry of Health will conduct an intensive screening for 31,000 Fijians in an identified area in McQuay for the next few days. Ministry of Health Permanent Secretary Dr. James Fong says they will be conducting an escalated swab testing to identify any possible transmitted case within the area. He also says that they are looking at Cunningham as a priority area.
We are going to have a targeted screening in and around that particular facility, the house, in and around that house. There is a zone that they have marked between 2 bridges, but I do know that there's 31,000 people living within that zone.
Dr. Fong says the swab testing and screening are imperative in identifying any other possible cases that may have been transmitted by the 7 in McQuay who tested positive today. The Ministry of Health will be doing more testing in the priority areas. Fijians are urged to follow all COVID-19 measures and abide with the advisories issued by the relevant authorities. All containment zones announced on Sunday remains. Permanent Secretary for Health, Dr. James Fong, says even though the McQuay case is now classified as a non-community transmission, it is important to keep the containment zone given the movement made by the family.
And they moved around quite extensively. The maintenance of our containment areas will help us trace all the contacts more effectively and more efficiently.
Fijians who attended a church service in Nasaredi Church in Nandi on April 18th are urged to call the 158 helpline. Health Ministry's Permanent Secretary, Dr. James Fong, says this is part of the greater contact tracing effort. Dr. Fong is also calling out to anyone who traveled out of Viti Levu to any of the outer island, including Punua Levu, from April 19th, to also contact the Ministry of Health or the 158 helpline.
We believe that these are 2 areas that require some attention in terms of picking up more potential contacts of existing cases. Again, I want to urge all Fijians to stay the course and follow the measures that are necessary to contain this outbreak.
Several businesses are under investigation for increasing the prices of face masks, hand sanitizers and disinfectants. The Fijian Competition and Consumer Commission confirms it recently conducted more than 300 inspections nationwide and found incidents of price gouging. Kelly Bodala reports.
Some traders, including pharmacies, are under the spotlight for spiking prices.
As we speak, there's about 5 cases in Suva. There is, I think, 2 or 3 in the Western Division that we are looking at, where we feel we have quite a lot of evidences.
FCCC Chief Executive Joel Abraham says while most businesses are compliant, there are those trying to make an extra buck.
We find there is more than sufficient evidence, we'll charge them, take them to court. The maximum penalty for a natural person is 50,000 and for body corporate is 250,000.
Fijian says they are seeing different prices of face masks.
It's too expensive. I can't afford to buy one of these every day.
I feel some businesses are taking advantage of the situation.
Businesses should lower the prices. It's too expensive. I bought this for $6.50.
As the FCCC continues with its business continuity plan, it is urging Fijians to report any unscrupulous behavior by traders through their social media platform. Kelly Vadala, FBC News.
At least 50% of people who are in quarantine facilities are battling high levels of frustration, fear and anxiety. Empower Pacific mental health specialist Prem Singh says financial hardships, isolation from family and vilification on social media can spark various psychological issues. A number of people with severe psychological issues have been identified over the past few days, and they will need long-term counseling and support.
Not on stigmatizing, not on playing the blame game, but helping each other, keeping each other safe, following all the protocols and guidelines, and try to move forward from here.
Permanent Secretary for Health Dr. James Fong is urging Fijians to refrain from stigmatizing people in isolation facilities.
When we had people in those recovery places where we had to put them in, they also help provide social support, and we use the same network to also facilitate with regards to those in quarantine.
Empower Pacific has been responding to the need of Fijians in quarantine facilities since April last year. A stringent COVID-19 safety protocol was drawn up to ensure none of these counselors have direct contact with Fijians in quarantine or frontline workers, including health officials, quarantine facility staff, and military personnel. Chosaya Nanunga, FBC News. Onobatu village in the La Group is living with the everyday effects of climate change. Development Committee Chair Samisoni Pariti says their livelihood, including the village food source, is nothing like what it used to be. Pariti says massive changes have occurred in Onobatu village due to climate change.
The weeds that have all grown up and the sand dunes that used to be ponds and deep sea, where we were easily moving out from the boat through the stream right to the shoreline. But now we're facing difficulties.
Up ahead, huge task ahead for Fiji Sevens. And level rugby banks on forward pack. Stay with us. Welcome back. With less than 3 months left until the Tokyo Olympic Games in Japan, the national sevens team can almost feel the huge responsibility they carry on their shoulders. The Fiji team is the current Olympic gold medalist for rugby sevens, and expectations are high on them, bringing back the medal this year. Playmaker Jerry Tuwai says the team is aware of the immense responsibility at hand.
We have been working really hard these past months. There's a great responsibility in front of us. Greater than all of us. I think right now we are working on our coaches, our assistant coach, our trainer, physio and management plan. So we trust them and we honor everything that they're giving us, and we believe that it can take us through the Olympics.
Experienced level forward Beta Tiko believes the team's strength is in its forward pack. The 30-year-old is one of the older players in Teilebu, his second year in living Naitasiri. Venina Rakotonga reports Teilebu has not been successful in the Skipper Cup season with 2 losses and is going up against Nanrunga in the next round.
Having played in the Skipper Cup for more than 5 years, Tiko still has hope for his young side.
I know we have potential in the team. Our forwards pack is strong, and it's one of the advantages of our team. If we make use of our opportunities and work together, then we will be able to get our share of wins.
Tiko says the losses they have endured are all learning curves.
We've been learning from our mistakes along the way. It's not an easy road as other teams are experienced, and we have a lot of younger players, so we just hope to reach the top 4.
Teilebu's next opponent, Nanrunga, knows what to expect from a side hungry for a win.
We just have to maintain possession and maintain continuity and just maintain our pattern, the way we play.
The dates for round 4 of the Skipper Cup competition are yet to be confirmed as sporting tournaments have been suspended. Venina Rakautonga, FBC Sports.
The Lambasa football side is prioritizing the safety of everyone before its Digicel Premier League campaign. Majority of the players in the team are police officers carrying out their duties and ensuring all Fijians are safe as Fiji battles the second wave of the COVID-19 pandemic. These players, including goalkeeper Akuila Matei Suba, Ashnil Raju, Vikrant Chandra and Ratu Anre. Coach Rafnil Pratap says for now, a training plan has been given to the players to follow. The DPL is planned to resume on the weekend of 8th and 9th May. Cloudy periods with some showers and afternoon or evening thunderstorm, moderate east to northerly winds. That's FBC Morning News. Join us at 7 p.m. for our major bulletin. For news you can trust, get the facts from FBC's TV, radio and digital news at fbcnews.com.fj. Take care and good morning.